What is wrong with America? That's kind of what I want to go with today. America in peril. We're going to talk about questions, and then I'm going to have some statements. Every one of these are common sense approaches, and I would say the majority of you, even if you're left or right, the majority of you that are, middle class or just trying to live day in and day out raising your family, I would believe you feel the exact same way of what I'm talking about today. We're going to talk about questions that our politicians are not answering and our government is not answering that they should answer, especially if we want America to thrive. And then we're going to have some common sense approaches to basic thought patterns of America and how we've went so far off course that we should be saying, okay, if we don't correct this, America, there's no way America can thrive in the coming future. Let's jump into this list today, and hopefully we'll gain more common sense to say, and that's what we should be asking. That's the questions that we should be covering, but nobody's doing it. Let's talk about it today as we start October. We're also going to do a giveaway today, so stay tuned to the video. Thank you for watching today. The video starts right now. Thank you so much for being here today. If you're new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. That's okay, but let us know what you think about the content of this video. Also, at the very end of this video, we will be giving away another gift. It will be another Hollow Point Coffee Company giveaway, and we're going to be giving that to someone who is subscribed to both channels, who comment below. That way, we just want to say thank you for allowing us to be able to speak to you each and every day. So now let's jump into the video. Common sense approaches and questions that we're not answering, and both of those things are to the detriment. I bet you a lot of money that you believe the same way I do. You may not agree with all the policy, but you agree that these questions should be answered and we should gain wisdom from this, and that if we don't, it will be to the detriment of America. Let's jump into it. Start off with some basic questions. Why do we have Border Patrol? And why do we pay Border Patrol if Border Patrol cuts our fence and allows people just to come in illegally? It's a question we should ask. Should we just not pay Border Patrol and let them just come in? Or should we pay Border Patrol and do their job and protect the border? It's a good question. Why do we trust the Fed and look to the Fed to give us financial information when for 110 years they've been over our money and we've went through depressions, recessions, inflation, and interest hikes? Why do we trust them? If I was over your money and I destroyed your money by losing it, gaining it, failing at it, costing you more, burning it, and then all of a sudden wanting to give you more, and then so you're seeing the volatility there, you probably wouldn't want me as a money manager. You probably wouldn't want me over your budget. Why do we trust the Fed to do that? If the Fed can print money or adjust money or make sure money is printed, affect the interest rate of that money to affect the inflation of the money, why is the Fed buying so much gold when our currency is not backed by a gold standard anymore? Good question to ask. Why do we pay property tax and that we're okay with it, and we don't hold our politicians at a standard to say, once we pay off our property, why are we still paying property tax? Because that means technically, if we don't pay property tax, we basically will lose it to the government or lose it on the courthouse steps to someone who's willing to pay the tax. Why have we brought ourselves to the point where we want taxation on our property that we supposedly have already bought? This goes for auto tags and licenses too. If we buy something, we pay the tax on it, why are we paying it over and over again for no benefit? More with the tax, why as a homeschooler do I have to pay school tax? Now, I don't want subsidies. I actually don't want tax money given to me for my kids, because remember, we pay towards the kids. So I believe in charter schools. I believe that private school parents should have money going to them. I personally don't want money coming back to me. I think that's crazy. I just want you to quit taxing me if my kids don't go to school. If I homeschool and I do not partake in the system of schooling, why do I have to pay for it? The part of the property tax and school taxes I don't understand. If we suck at budgeting in America, we can't balance a budget to save our lives. However, they want to overtax you but still print money. Why don't we come up with a flat tax of 10% and balance a budget? The flat tax would be that it's across the board. No matter what you make, you pay the same percentages. No loopholes, no extra credits, 10% flat tax. I would be for that. I think that'd be a great idea. If we run out of money, just like we would do at our own home, I think the government can't spend anymore. That would actually make for a more sovereign America. Why does government take our tax dollars to then give to people to sit at home to not work? Now, we believe that's probably for a bigger agenda. But why are we not more up in arms about paying taxes to the government that does print their own money, that gives tons of money for people to sit at home? That's not counting the money that we send to places like Ukraine. How is it fair that we tax people to give money to other people when we can just print money? We believe in antitrust laws and we believe that there should never be monopolies. Why does most areas only have one energy provider? I know here in Mississippi, we have one energy provider for my home. There's no competition, so I have to pay what they tell me I have to pay no matter what. They adjust the fuel charge, they adjust the rates, and therefore I'm never actually getting money back from energy. Why is that? Why is that? Why do we as a government allow these big businesses to do that? Let's talk about healthcare too. It's the same way. So we have an energy policy that is monopolized because I imagine your home, no one can compete for it. Well, health insurance, same way. I imagine most states are like Mississippi where they may have one or two providers that you can use. So if those one or two providers are high, there's not enough competition. Therefore, we don't have a way to compete. We don't have a way to save money. We just have to pay what they tell us. Is that true capitalism? Is that true competition? That means the government is allowing monopolies for certain businesses. Again, on competition and capitalism, if we have competition and we have capitalism, why is there thousands and thousands and thousands of farmers that grow the meat to only have 3 major beef producers? 3 major beef processing plants. When farmers work 7 days a week to provide the food, and there's 3 major players that give you the food at the grocery, that's not true competition. And the more money that these big businesses have, it takes the smaller guys out. I challenge you to buy local food, because what we're doing is we're helping these companies really not compete and not have competition and to charge us what they want to charge us because we're buying their goods. Financial institutions. Why is there 5 major banks that's over 50% of all our money deposited? Why do they have that kind of power? So we're talking about monopolizing. However, if those 5 banks are the ones that's tied into the Fed, which is tied into the government, which is the biggest players in the financial institutions, why do we believe that we're in a free, open society where our money is safe and we can do what we want with it? The stock market the same way. You have Vanguard, State Street, and BlackRock. They're over a majority of the stock market. They're the biggest players on most boards of most companies. So do we believe most companies are operating the way they want to, or is it the way that these 3 companies may want them to act? Again, think about capitalism and think about a free market. If we believe in that, why are we not allowing our politicians to hold these people's feet to the fire? Because this is not free enterprise. This is not capitalism. This is a very socialistic view of the market. We call it capitalism because we want to tell ourselves that's what we have. We can buy from whatever. But if 3 people, or if 3 big businesses are over just about every business that you do business with, 5 major banks are over the Fed and also over the majority of deposits, and could easily say your bank can easily say your deposits are good or you need to leave this bank. Is that really a fair and free market for us as Americans? Why is it that we pay taxes and we worry about a government shutdown to then turn around and pass a stopgap funding bill that only gives us another, 2 months? Kick the can down the road. However, we can make sure that all illegal immigrants that are now crossing the border are getting a free ride. that we still have a $300 million payment that just went to Ukraine that was backed by people like Kevin McCarthy, the rhinos that did not stand. I love the fact that he said, well, we're not going to pass it if it has Ukraine in it. Well, all he did was just take it out and make a separate bill for it, and they still passed it. The dishonesty here, guys. Why do we pay taxes to see our border over flooded and our money go to people who are illegally coming in, and also our money go to another country that has no bearing on what we do here in America? Again, we can print money, so why are we taxing our people? Why is our dollar not just going to its own people? When people say, well, we can't just keep printing money, it's all this stimulus would actually cause inflation. I would agree. But if you're going to give money away, why not give it to your own people to spend money in your own country versus sending it across the world? So do you see what I'm saying? I'm asking these questions. Every one of these questions I bet have been on your mind in some form or fashion. When it comes to taxes, when it comes to banking, when it comes to politics, when it comes to how we fund, how we kind of utilize the market here in America. Are we truly a free society? Are we American in peril? I think we should look at it and say, common sense wise, we need a flat tax. We need a simple tax system. We don't need 87,000 IRS agents. We don't need politicians that live full time and have no term limits in Washington, because they become more of the swamp. The more I put myself, remember, bad company corrupts good morals. That's biblical. If I put myself in a bad situation all the time with bad people, it's going to influence me. We're influenced by people that we are around. So if we want to live in a swamp, we're going to become like the swamp. So when people like politicians say, wow, we're going to fight Washington, the more they stay there, they become Washington. So us as America in the middle class, when we can't afford a house, 8% mortgage rates, the housing market, this has been the lowest month of sales on homes because of interest rate. However, the market for houses has skyrocketed where the price is still inflating on the house. So it's making it out of reach for most Americans to buy a home. Is this a real free market? Is this true capitalist society? Is it still where you as the American is not overtaxed and you can buy and do what you want with the money you have and the money you made? Just think about it. Here's how we can solve all this. First of all, spiritually, we need a revival, no doubt. But we could set ourselves back on the gold standard. We could balance our budget. We could readjust and reset every amount of foreign money that we're putting out in the world. And if they don't like us or there's an adversarial relationship, they get nothing. We could put higher tariffs on goods coming to America. Not that I want to hurt trade, but what I'm saying is if we incentivize buying American products, we're going to help the American people. We can incentivize businesses, deregulate meat productions, deregulate farms where they can sell to their local folks. It's amazing that we're adults and we allow our children to cut off body parts, but us as adults cannot allow our neighbor to sell us raw milk because it could be dangerous for us. So we need the government to tell us that it's bad for us, but we allow our children to cut off parts of their body. Think, people. You are being brainwashed by what we're listening to. This video is all about common sense. We start the last quarter of this year and we're going into an election cycle that's going to be dirty, terrible, and when in the world of AI, in the world of deepfake, in the world of legacy media, in the world that we're so influenced by entertainment, you have to put all that out and say, you know what? What's the smartest thing? What's the wisest thing? If this politician is telling me this and he's not doing it, why do I keep electing him? McConnell came out this last week and said the most important things to Americans' freedom and sovereignty is that we keep funding Ukraine. Think about that statement. Our border, this unbelievable. The cities are falling to pieces. And the most important thing for America to do, instead of worrying about our energy bill and our mortgage rates, inflation and interest, and balancing budgets, is to fund Ukraine. That's not a wise statement there, is it? So first off, we need a spiritual awakening. Second off, we need to balance a budget and get our financial house in order. Third, we need to get politicians that are term limited, that are not bought off by the system. I believe that we could see true politicians, if politicians believed in the American dream, they would allow no inside trading, no lobbyist money at all whatsoever. Simple bills, no pork, go to a simple tax schedule for all the Americans. That's how we can really start making a stronger America, a free America, and back to where we once were. Because all we are becoming is a communist state or a socialist state, and we're losing our freedoms day in and day out. Give me your thoughts. A little bit different video, but I wanted to say, you know what, let's talk about what people want to talk about. Let's ask the questions that most people are asking, and why are we not getting answers? If your politician beats around the bush on this, you need to find more representation. If they can't answer these simple questions, and we can't find answers from our president to answer these simple questions, they don't need to lead us. We're not looking for another Messiah, especially if we know Jesus. The president is just the president. But if our president is not willing to make the hard decisions and start changing these policies, our America as we know it will be so far gone that we're going to be like every other third world country in the world, and being pretty much toppled by our own government. All right, today's video is over, but the winner of the coffee that we're going to be sending out this next week is going to be to Karen Hernke. Karen has been, I think, a subscriber for a long time of both channels, so thank you, Karen, for watching, commenting on both, and being subscribed to both. We will be sending out your coffee. If you could just email us with all your information, we will get in touch with you and we will get that coffee to you this week. Again, thank you so much for watching. Always the Max and the Max Life. Our goal is to show you the farming, the vlogging, and our family on the Max Life channel. The Max channel tends to be more of what we're dealing with on current events and trying to find a common sense approach to understanding prepping, homesteading, living sustainable in a crazy world that we live in. Again, we need spiritual revival more than anything, for sure, guys, and I hope that you are praying for that. Today is Sunday. I hope that you took your family to church. It will start making your life a whole lot better, because you're really finding now that that's how you truly take care of your family, is by finding peace in Christ. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless. Happy homesteading.